What you see here is a 52-inch gloss black Casablanca Venus. This fan is from 1991, uses the Inteli-Touch system with a 6-speed electrically reversible motor and a dimming light feature. The Venus was definitely one of Casablanca's more elaborate offerings. These were introduced, I believe, around 1989 and they lasted up until 1996. These were available in two finishes, glossy black as shown, and snow white. The snow white ones are seen to be a little bit more commonly found than these. There's a few different variations of the Venus that exist. This one here is what's considered the gallery edition, since it comes standard with the Venus model specific light, which uses a halogen bulb. You also had models that did not have any light kits on them at all. This used a glass finial on the bottom of the hub. And they also had the Venus Halo, which used uplights, which mounted on top of the motor housing up there and shined toward the ceiling. You could also have the downlight installed on that fan as well if you wanted to. It was also an optional thing. Then you also had another option for these where you could fit a standard Casablanca switch housing onto the bottom of these and basically install virtually any kind of Casablanca light kit you wanted on it. That was definitely the most hardest to find version. Not a whole lot of people went with that option because most of the time you see these with that light kit on it or no light kit at all. So I would say these were a fairly expensive fan when new, so they're definitely not as commonly seen as the more popular Casablanca names. Delta 2, Panama, Lady Delta, so on and so forth. So yeah. Fan's blade pitch is 14 degrees, standard of fair Casablanca. Stepped hang through canopy. Emerson K55 motor there. And coming around on this side, we have the label, which is mounted on top of the dust covers on the motor. You remove the other side of the dust cover to access the blade mounting screws. This fan's in pretty good shape for its age. There's one blade, which is right here, that has some clear coat damage, which is a bit unfortunate. These blades are one direction only the way they're designed. So you're basically stuck with that showing unless you find a brand new set. But other than that, it's in pretty good shape. For purposes of testing, we're using a W11 Casablanca wall control. So we'll start with the light. Holding the button in, it'll start dim and then gradually brighten. And that is as bright as this bulb is. I don't think this is a 150 watt bulb like what's supposed to be in this light, but probably something a little bit weaker. But the light kit on looks pretty good on this fan. Very classy look to it. And we'll go and start this up. Speed number 1, low speed on downdraft. This speed right here is extremely slow. It's almost not really worth using because it's not really effective. It's just for looks. The blade hub assembly is pretty heavy, so that does put a lot of weight on the motor. And it does hold itself. It's, the BFR on this motor is still good. So it does not stall out like sometimes they do when the BFR start to go out on these. But very slow, low speed. So take it to speed number 2. This is more of a functional aesthetic low speed here. The fan makes some bearing noise. They could stand to be replaced. I oiled them a little bit to prolong the grease in them a little bit, but definitely didn't help much. Speed number 3. Unfortunately, on the faster speed, this fan is going to wobble pretty badly. And the reason behind that is that the person that removed this fan from its original install, they took one blade off the proper way, but I guess they said, screw that. So they left all the other 4 on. And I had to take them off when I loaded the fan up in my car to take home. So what happened was that they left the fan set out on their porch, and essentially with that, of course, uneven weight with the missing blade that was removed and the other 4 left on, that they warped the flywheel on this fan, and from the weight of the motor resting on the blades themselves, also warped the other 4 blades. So therefore the blades are somewhat slightly warped upward, and there's one blade that's still slightly warped downward just from natural warpage from being installed for 30 years. So the only thing that'll fix that is to leave the fan hanging up for a little while, and the blades should warp themselves back to their proper position. The flywheel warpage issue, I'm not sure what would fix that. That might be pretty much an SOL kind of thing. So, yeah, it's starting to wobble now here on speed number 4. Or this might be speed number 5, I can't remember. We can hear the bearings in this fan a little bit, but other than that, the fan is dead silent. Take it up. Yeah, this is speed number 5. And we'll go ahead and let it dance. Full blast. Yeah, this thing's freaking nuts. I'm not going to leave it like this for long. So the fan ran around 190 RPM with the 14-degree blade pitch. It, pretty decent performer. That heavyweight blade hub there definitely slows the fan down from, the other standard of fair Casablanca fans of this size. So it's definitely going to move a little bit less air. Excuse me. But yeah. So hopefully with it, I'm going to keep this up for a while, and hopefully these blades straighten out. Because one thing is, I really don't have a place to store this big bodacious thing. I think that upper housing diameter at the top is around 20 inches in diameter. So storing this fan is definitely tricky. Especially in a storage place, my storage area in my basement here that's already full to the brim to begin with. So yeah. But pretty nice fan. Thankfully the Casablanca Inteli-Touch system still functions fully on this fan. I've been having a piss stream of bad luck on that, where I've always had faulty systems. But this one here seems to be working a-okay. This wall control that I demonstrated the fan with is not original. Of course they didn't include it. Why would they? So I'd say good luck to them trying to use that wall control on their new fan. So, alright folks, there you have it. There was the 52-inch glossy black Casablanca Venus from 1991. Stay cool, take care, peace.